How many times have you clicked on a video here on YouTube looking for some fantasy football sleepers, only to get a video full of a bunch of guys with like a third round ADP that everyone knows about, or a guy that's on everybody's list? Well, let me tell you, that's about as useful as pissing directly into the wind. I'm not talking about a little bit off-centered or to the side. I'm talking about directly into the wind. It doesn't work well at all, trust me, I know. If you've never done it, go try it. Come back, let us know how it worked out for you. In the meantime, though, we're going to be here talking about sleepers that no one else is talking about. But hey, I also have more challenges to throw out to you on Underdog. If you think that you can beat me in some best ball here this offseason, now is the time to do it. Go over to Underdog Fantasy, create a new account, use referral code Headliners, and then just make that minimum $10 deposit. If you do that, not only are we going to match your deposit all the way up to $100, but we're also going to give you a free draft guide so you can absolutely crush it here in your season-long leagues. You're going to get an entry into a giveaway from a signed piece of memorabilia from my office, plus you'll have enough money there in your account to compete against us in a few best ball leagues. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's a $41.99 value that you can get for only $10. Great opportunity here, so go sign up now and come see if you can take my money. There may also be some live draft links in the description. If you're ready to go, so am I. All right, so let's talk about some sleepers. Now, first, we need to determine what the term sleeper actually means because it's kind of different to everybody. The way I interpret the word sleeper is this. It's a player who has a very good chance at outperforming their ADP, but is also a name that a lot of people just overlook or are not interested in because they don't carry that fantasy sex appeal. No, Taylor, not that type of fantasy sex. Jeez. Every dude over the age of 38 that's watching this video right now just fumbled their phone trying to look at the screen to make sure they weren't missing out on anything. Wow. All right, first off, let's talk about some sleepers, but what about a like goal for this video? If this video can get over 750 likes, I'm going to give away a free draft guide to somebody who leaves a comment down below. So hit that like button, leave the comment, and here we go. The first sleeper we're talking about is going to be Kenny Pickett of the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's right, talking about damn Whopper Jr. up here in this house today.
I wanted a lot of things in life, but a man's got to play with the hands he's dealt.
But we really saw an improvement in the game of Kenny Pickett the second half of 2022. Over his first 8 starts of the season, he had 6 total touchdowns to 9 turnovers, including 5 games where he failed to throw for even 1 touchdown. However, over his last 5 games of the season, he started to turn it around, had 4 touchdowns, no turnovers over that time span. Now sure, we would love to see more TDs. I mean, I know me, personally, I always like to see more TDs. But it was the correction in the turnover issue that was a lot bigger deal to me here personally. Now, this dude delivers some pretty catchable balls, if you know what I mean. And no, this isn't a plug for Manscaped. He was the #1 quarterback in all of the NFL in deep ball catchable pass rate, pressured catchable pass rate, and #2 overall in overall catchable pass rate at 83%. Pittsburgh then addressed the offensive line here this offseason. They brought over Isaac Seumalo from Philadelphia, and then they drafted Broderick Jones in the first round out of Georgia. They also brought over Allen Robinson from the Los Angeles Rams, and I know what a lot of people think. They think that he's washed. Cool. Maybe he is. He's their wide receiver 3 on the team. They're not overly reliant upon him. They still have Deontay Johnson to soak up targets. They got George Pickens racking up big plays down the field. They have the Muth underneath. They have multiple pass-catching running backs, and still nobody really talks about Calvin Austin, which is a speedy wide receiver option in this offense that could get some run in 2023. Plus, he's a little bit more mobile than a lot of people want to give him credit for. Now, no, he's not damn Justin Fields out there running amok, but he's still averaging 4 rush attempts per game. That's what we saw in 2022. It's a little bit of something, right? Everything is lining up for Kenny Pickett to take a huge step forward. Now, this is not me on here saying that Kenny Pickett is going to be some league-winning quarterback. I'm not saying that he needs to be the quarterback 1 and the only quarterback that you draft in 2023, because that would be stupid. But if you do draft 2 quarterbacks, maybe you're in a 2-quarterback league, maybe it's a super flex league, not saying, just saying, I would take my chances on Kenny Pickett over some of the younger guys like Bryce Young or maybe even CJ Stroud. But what about a running back? How about Damien Harris of the Buffalo Bills? And this dude is basically just forgotten about, and I really do not know why. Last year, he battled through injuries in New England, and Mondre was out there just mushroom stamping opponents, and Damien Harris really wasn't needed very much. He only had 123 touches for 559 yards and 3 touchdowns. But that doesn't discount the fact that this guy is a super solid running back that's kind of just suffered from being underutilized here as of late. He's a battering ram running back that's exactly what the Bills offense needs here in Buffalo. Now, just like everyone else, I expect James Cook to break out and to maybe take a little bit of a step forward as well. Heck, I probably could have included James Cook in this video as a sleeper that not a lot of people are talking about, but maybe his name is a little bit more mainstream and why I went with Damien Harris. But Harris really provides what Singletary hasn't been able to in Buffalo the past few years. Singletary was actually used pretty frequently within the red zone. He had 33 carries inside the 20 in 2022 and averaged only 2.5 yards per carry. He also had 17 carries inside the 10-yard line, only averaged 2.1 yards per carry, and between all those touches, it only resulted in 4 touchdowns. 4 touchdowns on 33 carries? That's 1 touchdown every 8.25 red zone touches. Not exactly great. Over the last 2 years, the last 2 seasons combined, Damien Harris has had 59 red zone carries that resulted in 16 touchdowns. That's a touchdown every 3.7 red zone carries. Now I'm getting a little bit excited. Singletary vacates 215 touches because he's no longer there. He's in Houston, and Damien Harris can absorb the majority of that. Now, when it comes to James Cook, sure, he's going to get some added volume as well, but don't forget, we also had Zach Moss in Buffalo for a little bit last year, and Isaiah McKenzie, who got some run out of the backfield, maybe some pass catching work, is no longer there as well. That opportunity could go the way of James Cook. Regardless, though, both of these guys can eat in this offense. This is a high-scoring offense that for the first time in forever, they have a successful early down running back that can keep drives going. Not to mention, when you're on the goal line, we don't have to beat up Josh Allen. We can turn around, hand it to Damien Harris, and expect him to find the end zone. Now, obviously, things would change in Buffalo if they were to add another running back here at some point in this offseason. I know there's been rumors out there about James's brother, Dalvin Cook, coming to Buffalo. I don't know if that happens or not. If it does, obviously, that's going to kill the value of Damien Harris. But the beauty of this is he has double-digit touchdown upside as of right now in this offense. He's going in the double-digit rounds in Underdog just right now. That is definitely a huge value in a running back that I am scooping up and stashing a lot in 2023. I kind of get some Jamal Williams vibes here with Damien Harris this year, kind of like what we saw last year in Detroit, where really Jamal Williams was really utilized inside the red zone, those short touchdowns. I'll take touchdowns because they still score points. That could be Damien Harris. What about a wide receiver now? Let's talk about Nico Collins of the Houston Texans. Now, I get that he may not be the sexiest name in this wide receiver group in Houston. We got Tank Dell, who everyone loves this offseason. John Mechie could return. A lot of people more excited about even Bobby Trees, Robert Woods in this offense, but what if it's Nico Collins that we should really be focused on? All of the 3 wide receivers I just named prior to him, Mechie, Dell, and Woods, they're all at 6 foot tall or under. But that's not Nico Collins. He's a 6'4", 215-pound wide receiver that has verge 4.4 speed and a 37-inch vertical, who was number 2 in the league last year among all wide receivers in contested catch rate at 66.7%. The guy can go up and get the contested catches. He can get those 50-50 balls. And because of that, he could easily turn into that big play wide receiver in this offense, because we know with CJ Stroud now under center, at times he's going to air the ball out down the field. He is a pro-ready quarterback that wants to move the ball down the field in chunks. He's not some quarterback that's just going to dink and dunk and just check it down all the time. Robert Woods is a shell of his old self. He's struggled to get open here as of late over the last few years and has a lot of nagging injuries. Tank Dell is an unproven rookie. John Mechie is fighting his way back from leukemia and hasn't played a down of football in the NFL yet as a pro. Now, sure, we all have assumptions that they're going to be something good here in the NFL, but we haven't seen it yet. We've seen some success with Nico Collins. He's averaged 13.2 yards per reception in the NFL, and he's done it with some pretty crazy below-average quarterbacks over the last 2 seasons. He's lacked volume, and he's lacked quality targets. But now here in 2023, he finds himself in a position where he could get some pretty good volume. What if Robert Woods were to go down with another injury? Maybe John Mechie isn't able to go 100%. And what's great is you don't have to invest a high pick into Nico Collins. More than likely on your team this year, he's going to be your wide receiver 4 or your wide receiver 5 in 2023. And when you look at some of the wide receivers that are around him, maybe even going before him, guys like Rondale Moore, Michael Gallup, Romeo Doubs, I would really prefer going Nico Collins and trying to chase a little bit more of that upside in an offense that's probably still going to throw the ball quite a bit with a new young quarterback. Nico Collins, another sleeper that I'm looking at pretty late in drafts, not only in Underdog, but in redraft leagues as well. All right. Onto the tight end position, the football kind, of course. What about Irv Smith Jr., now of the Cincinnati Bengals? And man, I have been waiting for Irv to swerve for a few years now. It's another guy who's had some crap luck, right? He's had to deal with injuries, just never really got his chance. Until now. He is no longer in Minnesota. He's now in Cincinnati, and the Bengals just saw their tight end 1 leave for Carolina in Hayden Hurst. Now, maybe you're sitting there saying, that wide receiver room is stacked. There's no room for a tight end in this offense anyway, not interested. Well, just last year, Hayden Hurst had 70 targets, 12th highest among all tight ends, 54 receptions, 13th highest among all tight ends, 98 slot snaps, that I really love to see, and then he also ran a total of 356 routes. The tight end position has a place on the field in Cincinnati. Plus, their big 3 wide receivers, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, they've missed a total of 11 games over the last 2 seasons combined. If any of them were to miss time again, that's only going to bump up the opportunity for Irv Smith Jr. Now, the tight end position is an absolute crapshoot. After the top 5 or so, technically, it's really a crapshoot after Travis Kelce, right? After that, it's just basically a roll of the dice. You're really going to have to try to find 2 guys late if you don't end up with the elite options early on here in 2023. You draft 2 guys late. You hope that one of them hits and is consistent enough to start weekly. In my opinion, Irv Smith Jr. fits that category. He is dirt cheap during drafts, not only on Underdog, but will be in redraft as well, because people have that preconceived notion of no production over the past few years due to injuries. This could be the year that we capitalize on Irv Smith Jr. as a sleeper tight end. All right, so there you go. A few sleepers that really no one is talking about here in 2023 because their name isn't sexy enough to get clicks. But we're not worried about clicks. We're worried about fantasy championships. And would I rather my team just look good on paper, or would I rather my team be full of players that can help me out if need be? And these are the type of guys that I'm looking for super late in fantasy football drafts. But let me know, who are some of the sleepers that you're looking for? Leave that comment down below in the comment section. Would love to communicate with you back and forth. If you haven't liked the video already, please do consider subscribing if you haven't yet either, because we got you covered with all things fantasy football here in 2023, and we're looking forward to doing that. But hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day and then do your part to make the world a better place.